Hello, my name is Evan. I'm a film and television composer, and I'm coming to you from my studio in Santa Monica, California at the Remote Control Productions campus. I was really excited, along with all of my fellow Digital Performer users out there, to see the release of Digital Performer 11 last week. And I wanted to take this opportunity to start a video series during whenever I get the time here and there, to explore a couple of the ways in which I have found Digital Performer to be just really great, and some of the kind of workflow optimizations I've created to get around it and use it as quickly as I can. I want to make a disclaimer. This has been said before, that I'm certainly not being paid by Motu in any way or anything like that. I'm just a long-time user. And two, there's this sort of funny war out there, and people argue, which sequencer is best, whether it's, Cubase or Logic or DP. It's cliche, but I'm a big believer that the best sequencer out there is the one that you are fastest with. And to that end, I've tried to develop just a whole bunch of different workflows to make DP as fast as possible for me. And I just want to talk about a couple of those in an ongoing video series. The main one I'm going to look at today is, I'm calling it Never Scroll Again, or never spend any time trying to open the exact track you want in the key editor or the piano roll or the MIDI editor, as Digital Performer calls it. And the way that I can achieve this is by tagging all of my tracks, all of their titles, with a code, and then combine with the power of Keyboard Maestro, another just unbelievably useful app. And I'll show you here all of the Keyboard Maestro macros I've created to achieve this. I'm able to effectively assign key commands, which are present here and also on my little Stream Deck here, to basically enter the search filter, type in the code that I want, and hit enter, all in one fell swoop. And that looks like this. So if I have got this big template, which I like working with big templates because it allows me to not have to spend as much time, adding instruments as I go. I just sort of have everything ready to go for me. And by the way, I keep Digital Performer very sprightly and fast by hosting everything in the background, actually, in Vienna. I have 5 Vienna Ensemble Pro instances, each with 18 MIDI ports enabled. This is just my strings, for example. And you can see lots of strings here, all my reverb channels. And each has 130 audio output returns back to Digital Performer. And this is so I have maximum flexibility in stem printing. And I can print super wide stems and synth masters in pretty much one go, which, if anyone who works in film and TV music knows, is really, really important. But the downside to having so many tracks in a template is there's just a lot to sift through and a lot to scroll. And for a long time now, I've been looking for a way to sort of rid myself of having to scroll to find the track that I want. And I owe a lot of credit to David Daz, because he suggested recently that I explore the search filter features. And I also want to apology to him, because at first I kind of discounted the idea because I didn't want to have to sort of type in things and it felt cumbersome and whatnot. But then I remembered, with the power of Keyboard Maestro involved, I can have basically Keyboard Maestro do all of the heavy lifting for me and achieve my end goal. So just to sort of take it for a test drive and show you what I mean by all this, I'd say I'm looking at my whole big template, and I think to myself, okay, I want to adjust something in the strings. So rather than scrolling down to find the exact strings track that I want, let's say I'm at the top, I simply hit my F1 key, and now the template only shows me string tracks, or under the hood, it's showing me tracks that are tagged with OS1 in the title. Say I'm working with these tracks, and I'm done, and I think, okay, now I want to work with brass tracks. So F2, now I only see the brass tracks. If I want to work with woodwind tracks, I hit F3. Actually don't have any woodwinds on this cue. And I think to myself, okay, you know what, I need to adjust something in the pads real quick. F13, now I'm seeing only the pads. Oh, I need to go back to adjusting something in the strings. F1, and now I'm only seeing the strings. And this is just an incredibly powerful, fast way of getting around a large template. And it does away with the necessity to just, continually be scrolling to find things, which it really dawned on me when I sort of did a personal audit how much time and mental energy I spend trying to find the track that I want. So once I figured this out, I was really excited about it, and I just thought I would share it to the community. Now, there's a couple other pieces to talk about with this. The first is, Digital Performer has these great features for show only tracks with sound bites or notes, and hide certain tracks and things like that. And so this tagging system works in tandem with that, which is really great. So if I hit F2 to see only my brass, there's still a lot of empty space here, and I have F18 here set up to basically only show tracks with sound bites or notes. So I can hit them in tandem. So I can hit F2 and F18, and now I really just focus and see only this. I can hit, if I want to look at only the strings tracks that have information on them, I can hit F1 and F18, and I'm seeing only this. Or now I think, oh, but you know what, there's a track that I'm not seeing here. I simply hit F17 to go back to showing all. And my F17 will show me all but keep the filter on, so I'm seeing all the tracks within that. And now I have F16 set up to actually true show me all, where it erases the filter, and now I go back to seeing everything. This is one of the major benefits over using Digital Performer's track layouts. Now, track layouts is what I used to do, and that was where you could effectively kind of do the same thing, but one, it was slower. Two, it didn't work in tandem as well. It was kind of buggy. It would show tracks, but then it would actually hide other ones if you created the tracks after you had saved the layout. So I've just found, again, thank you, David Daz, this sort of revolutionary new way of jumping around my template very quick, very fast, using the combination of Keyboard Maestro and the search filter. The other really cool thing about this is that you can't say for track layouts is, let's say I add a track to my pads. I've got this Omnisphere set up here, this block of Omnisphere tracks, and I add a track. Now, back when I was doing this with track layouts, it was very cumbersome to sort of add this track to the layout that was saved here. Now, literally, all I have to do is copy the code, and I can, call it whatever I want, new Omnisphere pad track. And now still, my filters will keep that track there, which is just so fast and useful. If I want to make sure that this track is not visible in this one, I just simply, I think, oh, you know what, actually, I need that to be a string track. I'm going to view all. Actually, I'm going to look at my strings, and I'm going to think T0S1, I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to go back to pads. I'm going to replace the code. Oop, whatever. And now it's no longer visible. If I hit S1, F1, excuse me, I see it here with this group. So it's a really powerful dynamic way of both tagging tracks for visibility to jump around your template without ever scrolling, and also really quickly and easily altering which track gets into which visibility pattern or filter. The last thing that's super great about this is it works in the piano roll. So if I open up, say, these tracks in piano roll, I'm looking at these strings tracks, normally a lot of people will work in a sort of split view, right? I know Cubase is really big on this, and Logic is big on this, and you can sort of have the windows separated where you're looking at your sort of regions up here and then your piano roll down here. I personally never loved this because I feel like I'm giving up a lot of vertical space for each. I miss having a whole screen of regions or a whole screen of MIDI piano roll. And what's nice about this setup is with the tagging, I can effectively open a full screen piano roll and then not even need to go back to this window at all. I can simply open anything I want in the piano roll and then use these same key commands to change what I'm viewing in piano roll. So, I can work quickly with my ostinatos here. I actually have my shorts set up to option F1. So now I can view all string shorts by simply hitting option F1. Or if I want to view all string longs, I hit command F1, and now I'm viewing all string longs. But let's say I think, okay, now I need to adjust something in the brass. Well, I don't actually need to go back to this window because all I have to do is hit F2, and now I can actually just see all my brass. Or I think I need to change something in the pads. I can have F13, and now I'm looking at something in the pads. And so again, it provides me with a way to sort of keep the full screen vertical real estate, so I can see the entire orchestral spectrum or synth spectrum of both, but quickly be able to move around piano roll without ever actually even having to leave piano roll, which I think is really, really helpful. So I just wanted to share this. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. Message me on Facebook. I'm pretty active on the Motu Digital Performer Forum, and I hope to be doing more videos like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching.